The legend, Roger Stone, New York Times best-selling author, longtime Trump advisor. He was the man that got this whole machine started, man. And no, this whole massive movement is better. That's better phrased that way. Roger, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Joe, I am just sobering up.
It's been 3 days. You deserve it. Roger, you deserve it, man.
What a celebration. God, I remember when they brought in the elephant. That's the last thing I remember.
Wait, now I didn't see you at the Hilton. You don't show for those things, Roger, huh?
No, actually, I was doing election night commentary with Alex Jones on Infowars.com, where 26 million people watched us.
Oh my God!
Approximately 6 million people more than watching CNN, I might add.
Wow!
This is the new alternative conservative media.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I mean, when you
actually, we're the mainstream, Joe. Now,
yeah, that's great, man.
They're the fringe.
You know what? But you know what? That's a very good point and well said, Roger Stone. But boy, you were there. What did you see in Donald J. Trump, Roger Stone, that made you believe from day one that he could actually do this?
Balls, courage. I mean, he is literally, Joe, he's the toughest guy I know.
Yeah,
never mind Putin. If you can survive Manhattan real estate, then you're a killer. Then you have the killer instinct. This guy is as tough as nails.
Yeah.
And we're at a point where the country needs a president who's tough as nails. Somebody who knows their mind, somebody who's not afraid, somebody who wants to try something different.
Can you divulge to us, Roger, and I respectfully ask this question, some of those middle-of-the-night phone conversations you had with Mr. Trump?
You know, I really can't, and it's been my policy not to discuss personal conversations with him. Otherwise, they'll end. In all honesty,
yeah.
And I wouldn't blame him. But he was confident going into Election Day. Even he, I think, like me, you get kind of worn down by the mainstream media telling you repeatedly that you're going to lose when you're not. I think but it was really in the end, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
The guy expended a Herculean physical effort in the last 2 weeks of this campaign like nothing else I've ever seen. 3 stops a day, 4 stops a day, major speeches. It's grueling. I've been out there. It's very tough. For a guy 70 years old, he really went the extra mile in the end, and I think it made a difference.
It's an inspiration. When I was down in Florida, I went with Rudolph Giuliani. We did the east coast of Florida, up and down there, Orlando and Miami. Then I played Tampa last weekend, Roger. I went down. They brought me down to speak at the Trump rally. Donald walked in, not even breathing heavy, man. Not even breathing heavy. Walked in, looked so calm together. And I looked at him, and I went, and I know him, and we've joked around, and I've seen him with Melania, nonprofit things that we've gone to, always had love and respect for him because he is a good guy. But I did not know. Were you aware of this guy's physical strength? And that's exactly what it is, Roger Stone.
No, actually, look, he's a golfer, and he would tell you he's not a hard worker. That's what he would tell you. He says, I don't work hard, I work smart. But I think he recognized that he could really, he was closing fast at the end. We knew that. The polls had him gaining in the swing states.
Yeah.
A strategic judgment was made to target Wisconsin and Michigan at the close, places where we didn't have tech on the ground that much going, and which traditionally should not have been his. And he broke through in both places, and I think that made the difference. Therefore, he was able to narrowly lose Nevada, narrowly lose Virginia, really narrowly, surprisingly, in both cases.
Yep.
Although I did call Nevada that very morning. I said he would lose Nevada because his campaign there was a disaster.
It was, oh man,
and it was, but it was the only one. I mean, everything else fell into place in kind of the perfect storm we've been talking about for months in terms of getting to 270 electorally, just really fell in place.
And you've been saying that President-elect Trump needs to reject many of the neocons that are jumping on board now, Roger.
I mean, I just read a piece floating Jamie Dimon for Secretary of the Treasury. Are they out of their minds? I mean, are they out of their minds? If this is going to, I'm for the Trump revolution, and I think he has to be very careful not to open the door to establishment political types who, A, were never for him, and secondarily are not committed to his agenda. If you're not for the Trump agenda, for example, where's Jamie Dimon stand on an audit for the Fed? Donald Trump is for one, said so in the campaign. I bet you Jamie Dimon's not for one.
Well, give us a preview of who some of the key administration appointments are going to be, Roger.
I think it's really premature. I mean, right now, Joe, when you see a name in the newspaper saying, for example, Corey Lewandowski is going to be chief of staff, no, he isn't.
Yeah.
That's Corey Lewandowski floating his name.
Yeah.
Everybody out there's floating their own name, as being in favor of this job or that job. Rudy Giuliani's going to be this. Chris Christie's going to be that. I wouldn't bet the ranch on any of that. I don't think the president-elect has turned to those decisions yet. I think he is still in the process of digesting the national security information that he heard from Obama yesterday. I'm sure that is overwhelming.
Yeah,
They tell you all these hot spots,
Yeah.
all these things that are going on inside the country, outside the country that are classified that you now have to deal with. I mean, I'm just euphemistically. Mr. President-elect, there's a guy in Chicago we think might have a suitcase bomb. Who knows? Who knows what they have?
Yeah.
So he's got to wrap his head around that, and I don't think the mad scramble for jobs is not really, I don't think any decisions there are being made.
Well, I think I make this prediction, Roger Stone. I think Donald, the president's always gray and Obama looks so much older with the gray hair. I think Donald's going to look better in 4 years. I think he's still going to hold up. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to age like that. I think he thrives on this pressure. Am I right, Roger?
Yeah, he's got a serene Reagan-esque quality to him where nothing ever, he's unflappable in a sense. He's kind of steady as they goes, which is, I think, what you want in a president. He really does have the temperament to be president. This is something Hillary was entirely wrong about.
Yeah, should they pardon Hillary? Should Obama or Donald?
Absolutely, positively not.
I
mean, look, either we are a nation of laws or a nation of men. And for 30 years, the law has not applied to her as it has applied to, I don't know, say like Richard Nixon. So, no, I think that we need to have one standard. I think Rudy Giuliani put this best yesterday. This is not a decision for the president. This is a decision for the grand jury.
Yeah, it's well put. Now, the stock market, remember, it started to tank when Donald started to win. It started to tank, and oh my gosh, the mainstream media went nuts. Now, the stock market's reacting very, very well to President Trump, aren't they?
Well, because A, he's acting presidentially, and he has not said anything to upset the stock market. But secondarily, and I'm going to do a piece on this today, I really think that that the Obama administration is really cracking down on the community banks. And the community banks are the ones that are lending to move this country forward. They're lending for the construction projects. They're lending for the housing projects. They're lending for the growth of America. If you shut those windows down, you're going to crash this economy. And there may be some who think that that's the way to handle Trump, to crash the economy and blame it on him. So I really think he's got to put pressure on the community banks to lend.
Roger, how wild is it, man, that now we have a House and Senate that is totally Republican, all Republican, and it came from Donald J. Trump?
I think I maybe said on this program that the guys who were running from Trump in August would be the same guys desperate to get on the platform with him in October.
There it is, man.
If he's led the party to one of its greatest victories. Remember all the Never Trump people saying, "Oh, he's going to take down everybody with him."
Yeah.
This is a greater victory than Reagan. Reagan's the last guy to do this, to bring in both houses. So. Yeah. I think it is vital, though, and I think he knows this, he's now got to keep his pledges. He's got to build the wall. He's got to recharge the economy. He's got to let justice be done on the question of corruption and the Clintons. So, I've never been this excited. Even in 1980 with Reagan, who I loved and who I worked for in 3 elections, nothing compared to the electricity of this. Just nothing.
And Roger, I've known you. You followed this. You were with Donald Trump from day one. You were the go-to guy and always our go-to guy on the Trump campaign. Tell us. So you're watching. So you're with Alex Jones. You're on the show, and you're seeing that 254 hold. That 254 hold. They won't let it go. Roger Stone, they won't make the call. They were afraid to make the call, weren't they?
Well, she had technically not conceded. I mean, normally the thing that triggers everything here is the loser conceding. She initially announced that she's going to have no comments that night, and we heard through the grapevine that they were mulling, a challenge. Now, the irony of that is we had so many reports and examples of voter fraud. We had so many reports on Election Day of potential voting machine manipulation. We just reached a point in which this became a tsunami, and it was now too big to steal. They could no longer steal it and get away with it. And I think that plan collapsed. They were thinking of challenging it. I think the networks were not calling it because in politics, Joe, possession is 9/10 of the law.
Yeah, man.
You know, remember George W. Bush in his epic recount with Gore. First thing he does is say, "I won, it's mine. Now try to take it away from me." That's where you want to be in any recount situation. You don't want it to be perceived to be up in the air. So the networks were stalling for her, and she ultimately threw in the towel. And when she threw in the towel, they threw in the towel. She called in a brief conversation with Donald, and the rest is history.
What happened? She sent John Podesta out. What is the inside line, Roger? Did you hear? Why did she not come down? Was she not feeling well? Was she so upset and angry? Was it she just wasn't sure about the numbers? What really went on there, Roger?
I think that they were in a state of shock.
Yeah.
She's not a gracious person, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I think they were in a state of shock because none of this could possibly be true. Joe, they spent in excess of $1 billion.
Yeah, man.
Donald probably spent maybe $250 million. Maybe.
Man, it's amazing.
You know, so he spent, again, like he likes to say, less money and got more votes.
Yeah. Roger, your feelings, though, when you saw him go over the top after the fight, after you believing in this, what were you feeling personally? And I know you're a tough as nails guy. What did Roger Stone feel when you saw that go down?
I really think that our country's gotten one more chance.
Yeah.
I really think that either we have a new American Revolution now or it's over. That we're handed, by God, one more opportunity to make everything right.
Yeah, man.
This is the greatest country in the world if we can just get back to the fundamental things that made us great.
Yeah.
And Trump understands that. So it was an emotional moment.
There it is. StoneColdTruth.com. Roger Stone. Always a pleasure. Always a privilege, Roger
By the
Stone.
way, Joe, did I tell you Frank Morano got caught ordering deep dish pizza? Did I tell you this?
No!
They won't let him back in Staten Island. He got caught openly.
I'll tell you who got caught paying for that pizza. It was yours truly. Hopefully that won't affect my ambassador to Andorra.
I heard, Roger, that Frank's going to be ambassador to Andorra. Is that?
That's in the works. From what I
Thank you.
Roger, thank you, man. Well done, Roger Stone. Godspeed.
Great to be with you.
You too, indeed. Roger Stone, 9:39. Oh, I could talk to Roger for hours. Let's go to